It's Great Day Houston.
Yeah, oh yeah! You weren't watching just any show.
That's right.
Just right, al dente.
From celebrities, food, fashion, health, and more.
You've got to change your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Wake up with your morning cup of fun with your host, Debra Duncan. Great Day starts now.
Los Pistoleros de Tejas kicking it off for us in celebration of Cinco de Mayo this weekend. We'll hear more from them a little later in the show. We're just about a month away from summer vacation, and many of you are planning a trip. How many of you are going someplace for summer? Getting out of here? Yeah? Okay. Well, guess what? For someone in the audience, you could get there for free because someone is winning 2 round-trip tickets anywhere Southwest flies. So sit tight for that, and we'll get those names later. Today, we're also reaching out to our Great Day Facebook fans for a little something we call...
It's Facebook Friday.
Yes, it is Facebook Friday, and from time to time, you will see this. It's our Cadillac Tech Corner. We'll keep up with our followers on Twitter and Facebook. We'll monitor the comments and suggestions you have for all kinds of things, from cool gadgets to best online shopping for clothes and accessories to fun things to do around town. And we want to hear from you. What are you doing this weekend that you want us to know about? Post it on our Great Day Facebook page. Stephanie McClellan is our Facebook friend today. She will monitor those posts throughout the show, and we'll tell you about some of the things that your friends and neighbors are doing that you might want to join in on as well. Speaking of this weekend, there are several kinds of competitive races, NASCAR, for example, but this race relies on horsepower, literally, the Kentucky Derby.
65th running of the classic Kentucky Derby, with all roads leading to Louisville's Churchill Downs, and 70,000 spectators await the heartthrobs of America's banner horse race of the year. Don Amici, screen star of 20th Century Fox, Joseph E. Widener and Mrs. Peter Widener, and here we spot Mrs. William Prime and Samuel D. Riddle. They're at the post. Starter Billy Hamilton scans the lineup. A well-behaved field today. Watch it. They're all in line, and there they go.
The Kentucky Derby has been going for 138 years now. That clip was actually from 1939. So why is it such a big deal, and how can you participate from Houston? Welcome Andrea Young, president of the Sam Houston Race Park. Hi there. Hi. Let's just start off with, for people who might not be familiar with the race park, tell them what it is.
Well, Sam Houston Race Park's been around in Houston for about 20 years now, and it's the best place to enjoy the Derby, especially this weekend and any time for live racing throughout the year. You know, we've got our own hat contest, we've got our own mint and julep specials, we've got the Derby on all the TVs, we've got live racing going on in between the Derby races, and so it's going to be a big party. So if you're not already having one at home, I'd suggest you come out to Sam Houston.
Yeah, so if you can't go to Kentucky, we were bringing Kentucky to us.
That's right, that's what we do.
Okay, you mentioned the hat contest. Okay, so like what can people win?
Well, people can win $500.
500. I think I'm about to put on a hat right now because 500. So would this be, you think, in the $500 range right there?
You know, if the prize was awarded just on style, probably, but sometimes the hats are really, really zany. People put a horse on their hat and all sorts of kind of crazy stuff.
I have a bird on mine. This is from Nyanza Moore, custom chapeau. So there we go. I'm going to put that right back on. Okay, what else is going on? You said you had the mint juleps, of course, the signature drink at the Kentucky Derby.
Yep, and of course we've got our own live racing on the track in between the Derby races, and then we take a break for about 45 minutes leading up to the Derby itself, so that everyone can focus on, you know, what's really the biggest race of the year.
Yeah, and this race has several names. So Run of the Roses, a whole bit, but it's like the first of 3 races. And so give us an idea of the history of this, how it got started, and why is it such a big deal?
Well, to your point earlier, you know, almost 140 years. Yeah. It kicks off the Triple Crown of horse racing, and so no horse has won the Triple Crown since the late 70s, and it happened 3 times in the 70s and not once since. Actually, the year I was born is the last time a
You were born
Derby
in the 70s, were you?
Yes.
How cute is that?
And so that's just how special it is. So the Kentucky Derby horse winner goes on to the next leg called the Preakness 2 weeks from now, which is a quick turnaround for a horse to come back and race, and then a few weeks later at the Belmont in New York.
Yeah, and I always love like the horses' names. Secretariat is the first one I think I remember as a kid, and then of course was it Seabiscuit, all these different cool kind of names. How do they get those names?
You know, there has to be a unique name for a horse, so no horse can ever have the same name.
Like John.
Repeat it
It can't
twice.
be John.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there might have been one, but it's used. It's gone.
John's gone right now.
So there's some really cool names this year. It's one of my favorite ways. You know, the cool thing about the Derby is there's actually 20 horses in the race, which is a lot in the most by thoroughbred racing standards. And this year's field is super deep, which means that almost anyone can have a shot. So you can, 2 years ago, I think 50-1 shot. Mind that bird won the race, so the horse you almost least expect it can win.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about this race. I think it kind of embodies the American spirit that you can have like no chance at all, but then all of a sudden end up on top, and that's just kind of how we celebrate. Well, thank you very much. The Sam Houston Race Park Derby Party is tomorrow, and everyone in the audience, by the way, everyone in the audience, you're going home with tickets. We mentioned the hat contest. If you're looking for a hat, welcome fashion stylist and blogger Layla Asghari. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. I love yours.
Thank you.
Now, hats down south have always been a big deal, but then when Kate Middleton got married, you know, people got, or when she first started dating, you know, the prince, we all realized that she had this great fashion style, and oftentimes it included hats like the Fascinator.
Exactly, and that's what we're both wearing today.
Yeah.
So this is a Fascinator, and it's just actually attached with a headband, and it's a cute little way to wear a hat if you don't want to wear the big wide-brimmed ones and cover your face.
Yeah, but if you're showing up at the Kentucky Derby or Sam Houston Race Park, you better bring it.
Exactly. At the Kentucky Derby, more is more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the fashions that you've brought today.
Yes, so first we have Nassim, and she is wearing this beautiful purple Mad Hatter style hat, and it's got this awesome bow in the front, and this, I kind of like how one side is a little bit longer than the other, and it's tilted, and she's wearing a beautiful peach springy dress with it and some pastel jewels, and do a little turn for us so we can see the back.
Very
cute. Just looks very lovely.
Yeah, coming and going.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very springy.
All right.
And next we have Josephina. So actually in the Derby over the years, they did wear suits, skirt suits. So she's modeling a spring style skirt suit and in a lovely champagne color, and she's wearing a cloak style hat. So this is kind of inspired by the flappers of the 1920s, and they showed up to the Derby races with this kind of hat. So hers is embellished with lots of sequins and flowers and ribbons, and it's just, it stands out a lot.
It's a little art piece is what it is. That's amazing.
It is. It's like a piece of art, and that's exactly what it's all about, is wear your art on your head at the Derby.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have the lovely Mary, and she is all bright and ready for spring and ready for the Derby. She's wearing a hot pink, very wide-brimmed hat. And this is for the lady that really wants to stand out at the race. And she's wearing this with a lime green dress. And she has some accessories to go with it.
Now, bob your head a little bit there, because it's also about what your head, the movement of a hat too. When you bob your head, yeah, look at, there's things moving on there. That hat might take flight at some point. If a good wind comes along, you might take off.
Yes, and the cool thing about this hat is it's floppy, but it's also adjustable, and you can move it around and kind of put whichever side of your face you want to show, you can show, and whichever side you want to hide, you can hide.
Huh.
There you go.
Very pretty.
Thank you. Okay, and this, last but certainly not least, this is for the lady that wants to be the star of the show.
Yeah, I think that needs to show up at the hat contest.
Yes, so at the Derby races, they have a row called the Millionaires Row, and that's where the rich and the famous sit and watch the show, and I can kind of see this being on Millionaires Row.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, so this is big, this is, you know, fabulous, it's got all the tulle in the back, and it's got feathers in the front. So if you want to stand out, get something like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we certainly know that hats have a purpose. They can keep the sun out of your face, but for women over the centuries, it has become such an art piece. So we want to talk a little bit more about the history of those hats.
Yes, well, actually, when the Kentucky Derby started in 1875, it was the norm for women to wear hats just as part of their daily style.
Right.
So, and that happened for many decades after that. But the reason that it kind of stuck around was because this was a place to go out and to show your personal style in the form of your hat. It just became tradition. So over the years, the fashions changed. I mean, you had the flappers in the 20s, you had the, you know, the mini skirts in the 70s, but one thing that never ever changed were the big fabulous hats.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a historical marker, if you will. You look at the hat, you can pretty much tell what time it came from if it's one of those original hats.
Exactly. And nowadays, we're just kind of taking inspiration from all of the different decades. So you'll see women in hats from really any time period.
Yeah, and the best part is you don't have to fix your hair. All right.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. To find out more about Layla at our site, you can go to greatdayhouston.com. And thanks to J. Renee Shoes for our lovely hats today as well. They have you covered fashion-wise from head to toe.
Yes.
Another way to celebrate the Kentucky Derby here at home can also raise money for a good cause. Welcome Sarah Lampe and Chyra Blackaller with the Holly Rose Foundation for information about their event. Hello. So tell us what you all are doing. Now, obviously, you two need to go to the hat contest, too. Those are beautiful. But tell us what you're doing to raise money for a great cause, but people can also have a great time.
This is our 5th year to have the event. It's the Run for the Roses Kentucky Derby Party, benefiting the Holly Rose Ribbon Foundation, which is formerly the Rose Ribbon Foundation. Was started, Cindy and Franklin Rose started it. Her sister, Holly Skolkin, was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. They started this in her honor, and she did pass away in March, 2 months ago. So this is the first event honoring her, so they've changed the name of the foundation to Holly Rose Ribbon. And it is at Moe's, a place for steaks on Post Oak. Starts at 2 o'clock. The Momentum Volvo is one of our biggest sponsors, Lexus Florist. Festari for Men, we have a hat contest for the women with fabulous prizes. We have betting for the men that Festari has sponsored, and they're giving $300 to $500 gift certificates for the betting winners that pick the horse, the right horse. We have a great silent auction, which Sarah is chairing, and Moe's provides the food, mint juleps, of course, and then we have a Derby Teeny, which is kind of a pink girly drink that for those of us that you got to have the mint julep.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I have to tell you, I know Cindy and Franklin, but I also knew her, and she had just such a great spirit for helping other people get through a tough time.
Absolutely.
And she's up there in heaven right now, and she is smiling down because this is what she would have wanted.
We're calling her our angel right now, because this year is just amazing. And the foundation is great. They don't only help women, they've helped now men, and we helped a 13-year-old little boy a few months ago, and they are now providing eyebrows, eyelashes, robes, pillows, anything to make their confidence better, you know, as well as reconstructive surgery, all the things that insurance doesn't cover.
Yeah. Thank you. The 2012 Run for the Roses Derby Party will be on Saturday. Like she said, it's going to be at Moe's, a place for steaks. You can log on to roseribbon.org for information or to make a donation. So roseribbon.org, or is it the new name now?
It's still, the website is still roseribbon.org.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Well, your bags are packed, the kids are behaving, and everything is going as planned on your family vacation. That is until, I'm sorry, your flight was overbooked. Little Johnny will have to fly alone. Some of you might not mind, but most of us would like little Johnny to fly with us. Before you head out on your summer break, know how to handle travel trouble next.